lots of stuff today, man. We want to talk to you about your website today. How many of you have a website? Wave at me if you got a website. How many of you have your sermons up on your website? Fantastic. How many of you have the testimonies of some of the people of what God has done to change lives or heal people up on your website? Wave at me. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we got a few. Folks, all of you need to have that going on your website. How many got a call from Katie to remind you to come here today? How many saw how she signed her reminder email to you? Check out the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And there was a link. If you would have clicked on the link, a video player would have opened before you. And you would have watched her 3-minute story describing to you how the Lord delivered her out of the kingdom of darkness, transferred her into the kingdom of light, made her a new woman while she was in college. She was so excited, she said, Pat, I checked out that website, and over 2,000 people have clicked on that link and watched my story. How many think it'd be pretty exciting to equip the saints in your church to share their story with 2,000 people? I'd like to suggest to you that that is your job today. Today, if you say, I'm a pastor, teacher, evangelist, apostle, prophet, then Paul says you are a gift to the church in Ephesians 4 for the express purpose of equipping the saints for the work of ministry. My friend Murph used to travel with me like Dave is traveling today. And Murph had a gun to his head 1 year ago, going to blow his brains out in his parents' basement. Mid-30s, lost his marriage, lost his career, felt his life was over. God rescued him, and he started going to my friend Pastor Lon's church. Well, Pastor Lon takes his job quite serious to equip the saints for ministry. So when you go to his homepage, at the very top you see a story tab. Click on the story tab, and all the folks with a story comes right up. Face on the left, 2-sentence blurb about their story on the right, page after page. Put the mouse on their face, on the blurb, click on it, video player opens. And then that URL address can be copied on every email that leaves their desk. Matter of fact, my wife got tired of copying it. She went into the signature part of Outlook and just put it there permanently. So now, every email that she opens up or responds to, she has a little more than her signature. She has an invitation and a link to watch her story. How many think that's pretty good, you guys? Matter of fact, she went a little step further because the other day we were talking how we have this wonderful marriage, 30 years, we love each other. And we realize it's all because Jesus is, we're all living, we love Jesus more than each other. And since we love Jesus more than each other, we have this incredible marriage. We love each other, you know, much more than those. And so we thought we should tell the world the why. So one day we were riding bikes and we just parked, I put a little camera on my bike seat, stood away and I said, we're crazy about each other. Let me tell you about our marriage after 3 decades. And I'll tell you why. Because Jesus is the center of our lives. We live for His pleasure more than each other's, more than our own. Little 3-minute thing. Well, then we threw that up on YouTube. And guess what? Now my wife has 2 little things that you saw them. One says, check out the greatest thing ever happened to me. And the other says, check out how our marriage was saved. And people are clicking on both of them now. Amen, you guys? Anyways, here's what happened with Murph. When Murph started attending the church, Pastor Lon says, hey Murph, it's been a few months and we have yet to capture your story on video. Murph said, well, Pastor, I just don't feel ready to share that just yet. Kind of shy about that. Pastor Lon said, well, Murph, you got to understand, you have a job to do and I have a job to do. Your job is to be a witness to what God has done in your life. My job is to equip you to do that, to give you what you need to accomplish that job. And the best thing I figured out to help people be a witness is to capture their story on video. Then they can put it out there on YouTube, on Facebook, on their emails, hanging on their website. So, brother, we need to get your story on video. Oh, Ron, Pastor, I can't face all the scary people up there. Okay, then come into my office, we'll record it right there. So he did. Took him into the office, had a nice little interview, got long-winded, said, no problem, I'm going to cut you down to a few minutes. And then I'm going to play it through the video projector. How many of you got to cut people down? See, you can read Paul's testimony in 3 minutes in the book of Acts. He spent 1 minute talking about his life before Christ, how he drug Christians out and killed them. We tell people, listen, we don't want to hear 10 minutes of what the devil did in your life. We're not interested. You're not going to top Paul anyways. He was nastier than you ever thought you would. Right. And if he can spit it out in 1 minute, you can too. So tell us 1 minute about your nasty self, the next minute of how God broke in, and the last minute of how he made you look like Jesus. There's your output. All right? See, my pastor, if you start going more than 4 or 5 minutes, he just starts getting real close to you there. If you don't wrap up your comments, he'll be yanking the mic around. It's all right. Keeps things moving. But anyway, so Lon said, hey, Murph, you come in the office, and they did the little testimony. Lon said, Murph, I'm going to cut you down and play to the video projector in a few weeks. Why don't you get your family friends that Sunday to watch your story right through the video projector? They got 400 people in the church. He said, okay. He had a number of family and friends that said, listen, I'll come to hear you, but I don't want to hear no preaching or no singing. How do you know that they all stayed for the whole service? And many of them actually now all got warmed up to God. But that's not always the big thing. The big thing was when Murph got his testimony up on the website. Murph took that link, put it over on Facebook page. Put it on YouTube first, and then put the clip on Facebook page. And he said, I could not believe what happened. Murph told me in 24 hours. Hundreds of old friends and family members began to contact him. Murph, I had no idea the God of heaven gets involved in people like this. Please pray for me. Talk to me. He could not believe the influence he had suddenly in 24 hours. He said by the end of the week, those numbers had tripled. I said, Murph, are you thankful that Lon pushed you to equip you for the ministry? He said, oh, I am so thankful. My question to you this afternoon, are you equipping the saints for the work of ministry in a like way, in a like manner? I think only 3 of you said you have testimonies on your website. Folks, you got to do this. There's a guy that lives 1 mile from my house. He's one of the best hang gliders in the country. He jumps off the hills in New York with the intent of flying over Pennsylvania and landing in Maryland. I don't know how he stays in the air 5 hours hanging on to a piece of cloth, but he does that. He finds these upward drafts under clouds and goes up to that. But God told him this business has become an idol for you, Jack. You need to sell all this stuff. I got something else in mind for the money. How many of the Lord lovingly does that sometimes? So he got rid of his hang gliding stuff, and he came to me and said, Pat, God's been speaking to me about getting video going in our church. What do you recommend? And so I recommended some of these little cameras, like that one over there swinging around, the white one. And a mixer that he could simulcast and do live streaming. He spent 10 grand of his own money. 10 grand of his own money. Got these cameras. About the first thing my pastor said when we hung them on the walls, he goes, oh, these cameras are so unintrusive. I mean, that's a pretty good thing when you can film in the church. Just like how many of you noticed that two little spotlights up there left of the exit sign? You don't notice stuff like that. That's where a camera can hang. Anyway, so and we have testimonies in our church, dramatic testimonies. We had a man dying of blood cancer, lives a couple miles from me. He was told he had 2 years to live, and that was 6 years ago. They can't find the cancer anymore. They don't know what happened to it. We have all kinds of testimonies like that, where they're being seen not only around our community, but around the world now. And that's what Lon tells me too. Lon says, you know, Pat, we're seeing 15 people a week get saved in this church. We have more people in our church than live in our town. They live in rural Pennsylvania, Liberty, Pennsylvania. They have 400 people in the church. There's such a buzz in people's Facebook pages, 40, 50-mile radius of this church. Did you hear what's going on over there? Look at this, look at that, look at this other person. They're getting all these visitors and 15, 20 people saved every week. They have 50 students in the church, and the closest university is a half-hour away. They're growing like wildfire, guys. And Pastor Lon says, Pat, not only is the whole community a buzz of what God is doing here, but we have people in the church that's attaching key search words to these URL addresses of our website. And now we're getting emails from folks in communist countries and Islamic-controlled countries all over the world. People are watching these testimonies of what God is doing in the lives of people. How many know that this is going to be happening from our church? Amen, you guys? Folks, there's people in this restaurant right now who will tell you God's dead if he's exist at all. He's irrelevant. Because they never heard the stories of the people in your church. Folks, how many think what I'm talking about is important here? Amen. You all with me on it? The internet is a highway of communication that I think Jesus spoke about this technology 2,000 years ago. He said his disciples would do greater works. I often contemplated what he could have been talking about. Could have been quality-wise. Come on, he raised the dead, fed 5,000 with a few loaves, told the storms to shut up. Come on. Have you heard of people topping the stuff he did? I don't think so. But how many know quantity-wise he was limited? I mean, he didn't have a simple sound system. He had to use his lungs, use the elements. There's a reason why the Sermon on the Mount was done on the mountaintop. You know, no doubt the wind was to his back to carry the sound. But I believe he looked down the corners of time. He said, one day, my kids are going to be able to record what I've done in their lives. Declare them along with my principles and precepts. And those messages will reverberate around the world. Folks, the internet is that kind of a vehicle of communication. It is a highway. How many of Jesus commanded us to get into the highways and the back roads and compel them to come in? This is a highway of communication, folks. We have a man, he's a pastor, he works in Kingdom. His only passion is to help you have a website that's touching the world. Folks, we're going to get into a lot of things. I'm going to show you how to be a visual preacher. I'm going to know our Lord was a visual preacher. I'm going to show you all kinds of things that build the kingdom. And I hope you realize I'm not here today to sell you stuff. We'll give you a catalog when you leave, and obviously we sell all this equipment. But if I talk to you a year from now, and you're like, Pat, man, we got the saints feeding on the Word, we did this and this and this and this, we bought all of our equipment from somebody else, sorry, I will feel like a success in Tampa, Florida. And actually, the owners of my company will as well. They didn't call the company Kingdom Company 30 years for no reason. After doing these seminars for 15 years, you have to ask me when I come back, how much did you sell? They want to know what divine appointments happened and what did God do. Folks, how many know if you're really all about building the kingdom? Whether you're an individual or a company or a church, how many know God is all about providing for you and taking care of you? I have watched the blessing of God on this company for 15 years. I've watched our competitors go belly up all over the country. Longs in Birmingham, Alabama, belly up. Circuit City, belly up. All these competitors are. Next thing I know, they're gone. And I've watched our company soar with the blessing of God. You know, most recently, Sony, the IT people of Sony, have just partnered with our IT people to give us the software of this little white camera. Every one of our competitors sell you that camera, they sell you a $1,300 joystick with it. We're the only company that can save you the $1,300 because we have the software from this little device that can be put into any laptop, and you can turn that camera from any laptop. How many think that's pretty cool? In fact, they asked Sony, aren't you going to sell this? They go, oh no, we have to vet this all the way up through Japan. Who knows if we ever sell it? In the meantime, you guys have an exclusive on it. How many of that's a blessing of God right there? Yeah. So instead of $1,300, we sell you a $30 gaming joystick that does the same thing with the software. So to bust, go buy another $30 gaming joystick. You don't need to spend $1,300. How many of that's pretty cool, you guys? And these duplicators, almost all of our competitors put 2 fans in them and they burn up. We're about the only ones that put 4 fans in to keep them going. Folks, how many of this is favor from God right here? We're going to break for lunch, guys, and I really ask you to be attentive to God's voice today's seminar.